right. Do you want to introduce this video, Dave, or
Yeah,
AWG?
so this is one of the reasons we needed to get together quickly. This just came out. So OpenAI has launched a full blown browser. The functionality, it won't blow you away yet, but the positioning, the competitive positioning versus Google is basically all out war. So I went back and researched. Google launched Chrome. Chrome was not in the world. People don't remember this, and they leveraged their user base to install it. And now they have 2/3 market share of browsers. And so this is people's point of contact with information goes through Google. They get to see everything you do. Then later on, they turned on Chrome Sync. So they watch everywhere you navigate. All that information goes back into Google's great AI machine and serves you ads. Brilliant. And kind of scary. So then OpenAI, Sam being the strategic genius that he is, says, okay, this is one of those fundamental Bill Gates style points of control. We absolutely have to play in the browser game. So we're going to launch the Atlas browser, and what's going to make it better than Chrome is it's going to learn what you like and don't like far, far better and use our AI advantage to serve up better ideas. And the integration of GPT and what you're browsing will be completely seamless. It'll be advising you. It'll be taking you to the next website. It'll be curating your news all through that integrated Atlas AI browser.
It'll be taking your data.
Yeah, that too. I mean, that's the key, right?
Let's watch a short video of Sam and his team announcing Atlas, and then we'll talk about it.
We're going to launch ChatGPT Atlas, our new web browser. We think that AI represents like a rare once-a-decade opportunity to rethink what a browser can be about and how to use one and how to sort of most productively and pleasantly use the web.
And then there's three special core features of Atlas that Ryan's going to walk you through in a bit. The first is chat comes with you anywhere as you go on the web. The second big feature is browser memory. The third, which we're really excited about, and Justin's going to show this later, is Agent, which is in Atlas, ChatGPT now can take actions for you. It can do things.
All right, so my first reaction is, okay, great, but Google's going to come in and do at least this and, take back any market share they lose. I don't know. Do you agree with that, Alex? What are your thoughts?
I think there's a misconception that Atlas is a product. I don't think we should think of it as a product. I think we should think of it as a distribution channel for OpenAI's superintelligence. I think all of these products, these discrete products, are just going to dissolve over the next few years into a uniform medium of distribution for superintelligence. So whether it's one browser on the desktop versus another browser competing, I almost think it's the wrong question. I think the right question is what form of backend superintelligence is being surfaced via which channels. Browser is one, intelligent code editor environments are another. I think robots and various wearable devices are going to be another over the next few years. And I think it's really the superintelligence at the end of the day that's the differentiation, less the particular Chrome, if you will, that's just an embodiment of it to deliver it to the user. And I think along those lines, the most interesting for me part of the Atlas launch was the agent mode, less so the other features. Having a local agent mode, I think is potentially transformative for a number of use cases and feels a little bit more sophisticated than prior agent launches that we've seen from OpenAI. If you remember Operator, or if you remember the cloud-based ChatGPT agent, this one is at least partially local.
Just a riff on what you just said. If you look at the big players today, so you've got the big guys with infinite budgets. So you've got Google, you've got Zuck, and you've got Elon. But then you've got the two little startup, super hyper creative startup guys. So that's Dario and Sam. And so, Sam, OpenAI, is playing a very different game from Dario. Dario is relying on exactly what you just said. I'm going to build a more intelligent fundamental machine. And because it's more intelligent, people will navigate to it and will go out through corporate channels. Then Sam is playing the old Bill Gates game where I'm not going to take for granted that my AI is better than Google's. But right now I have twice as big an installed base as Google does. So what can I add to protect my position that makes me the default choice in the case where the two AIs are on rough parity? So he gets Johnny Ive to build a device. He's building his own data centers with Broadcom, and now he's adding a browser. And so he'll add everything that Bill Gates would have added that's a user point of control or an entry point into the use of AI in order to defend that turf and encourage more of the innovation to come through him rather than work around him through Google. But it's like all out warfare all of a sudden between Google and OpenAI, and it's just really fun to watch.
Dave and Alex, my favorite model for this is still Jarvis from Iron Man, right? We're going to have an AI that is our personal compatriot and in our portal into everything. And I'm not going to care what browser I use. I'm just going to be able to have a conversation with my AI, and it will pull up the data from wherever it is, whether it's using superintelligence from, OpenAI or Google.
Well, the only thing I'd add to that is that very, very soon that data will be your personal health data, your personal preferences, your everything about your soul. And then when you have your virtual girlfriend or boyfriend, everything you like and don't like in life will be in there. So if Sam wins the data aggregation race, if he falls behind for a month or a year in the AI race, he still has your data. And that personalization might create a much more compelling experience, allow him to catch up again. So the personal data warfare is like kicking off in a huge way right now. You mentioned it a second ago, Peter.
What's the downside of what we see here with Atlas? I mean, we have the ability of OpenAI to not only look at the data you have on your browser, but probably every tab that you have open and everything you have going on in your computer. And they're not promising to keep it confidential. Thoughts on that, Alex?
I think we'll see forcing functions for greater forms of confidentiality and privacy. But I'm just reminded, do you remember the browser wars?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right.
And Google won with 70% market share today.
Yeah.
Right. So there's sort of a long history of sleepy periods of relatively low innovation separated by Cambrian explosions of functionality. I remember all of the browser wars, and I think a browser war today over competing among other factors on whose browser is most private while also being AI agentic, I think that's a valid front for competition, and I welcome the competition.
Amazing.